I had a phone conversation earlier this evening with Joan out in California. She has a 201-2 that she's having an issue with her stitch length regulator dial, her adjustment dial. And she's not alone. I've seen other people with issues like this too. And she had some questions on how these things are supposed to work and how they go together. So I figure I've got this machine in. It's in for a service from a local customer. So I would use this as my demonstrator. So we're going to start. I've got this screw loose and it is moving. I'm going to tighten that up and put the stitch length lever in the middle position. So it's essentially at the 0 stitches per inch, or 0 movement, I should say. I'm just going to take the screws that hold the dial on. I'm going to take those off and stick them over in my parts bin. That's off on my left-hand side here. Now, the reason I tighten this up is I want to be able to lift this off. I turn it slightly because there's a slot in here, and remove it from the machine. Now, let's look at the anatomy of this. On the reverse side, you see there's this inner disc. That inner disc rides inside a groove that is machined into the casting here. It is critical that this groove be cleaned, and many times that's the biggest problem, is there shmoo, lint, or whatever that gets in this groove. So get in there with a swab. You can put a little oil on the swab if you so desire. Actually, it's not a bad idea because oil will help lift the crud out of that groove. And as you can see, this one had a bit of crud in there, which was preventing this one from moving smoothly. So what I'm going to do real quick, just to make sure, I'm going to put a drop of sewing machine oil, just a drop, on a cotton swab. And just going through here. Now that I've dry cleaned it, or dry wiped it, and then just use a cotton swab with some oil on it, that'll just help pick up anything that remains. You see quite a bit still coming off. I'm going to go through at the pointy end and dry it off a little bit. Okay, and that got the crap out of there. Now, let's take a look at how the disc is supposed to operate. So I'm going to take the locking screw off first, and we're going to look at something on this. You'll see on the locking screw, there's this fiber washer. It's kind of obvious there that fiber washer is on the locking screw. That fiber washer is very important because it gives you clamping force against the outer plate along this arc here. Without the locking screw, without the fiber washer, the locking screw isn't making a whole heck of a lot of contact here. So this fiber washer is necessary. Now, I see a lot of these machines where these fiber washers are missing. I have done some research. I have located a source of them, and I should have them very, very soon. But email me. My email address is right here. And I'll have this, like I said, I'll have the screws in a couple of days. Actually, not the screws, the washers in a couple of days, and I'll be able to fatten you up. But you can see here how this disc rides in there really nicely now, because we cleaned the crap out of it, got the shmoo out, and you see how it turns. And what goes on here, you see we have a half moon cut out in the outer plate, which stays in this position. That allows the stitch length to go to whatever this is. That looks like it's about 12. And then if we bring it up to reverse, it gives us the exact amount. If we turn it slightly less, that's probably like 8 or so. And it's the same amount in reverse. So that's how that works. So, dirt is your enemy here. You want to keep that clean. Like I said, this machine's in for a complete servicing, and boy does it need it. This machine hasn't been cleaned in many, many years, if ever. It may never have been properly cleaned. The woman who I picked it up from, she just recently acquired this one, and she hasn't had a chance to use it very much. And judging from the condition it's in, it's not going to work really, really well until it gets a good servicing. All right, so we got that back into position. I'm going to go ahead and set up a screw on a screw starter and hold the plate, the outer plate, and I'm just going to get this going. I'm not going to put this in tight, just going to get it started. All right, now I'm going to make sure that moves nicely, which it does. I'm going to take the second screw, get it in a screw starter, move the lever up to make it a little bit easier to see what I'm doing here, and just get it started. Once again, I haven't tightened anything yet. Putting it in the middle, that moves freely, that's good. And then we just snug these screws. We do not crank them. Okay, the screw is loose. I'm going to set that at about 12. You're going to have to take my word for where the setting is because those numbers are shot. And then I'm going to move this up till it's just that inner plate is contacting the arm. And now I've got the same length stitch forward and reverse. That needle will go in the same hole in both directions. If you go forward, you go back, it'll be hitting the same holes. It's a beautiful proportional stitching system. Well, there you go. That's what I've got for you on this one. Joan, I hope that helped you out. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video.